So if anyone's logged into the Uber application today, you'll notice that you had to agree to a new contract. They haven't updated their contract since, I believe, June of 2014. So I went ahead and took a look at the old contract that is still actually available in your partner app. So you can download and you can look at both of these, which look very similar. So what I did was copied and pasted both into a piece of software that compares changes in these documents. And I did notice a few things that are interesting and a few things that you might want to pay attention to. I know I am. There's a little change in the contract that states company reserves the right to independently verify your documentation from time to time in any way company deems appropriate in its reasonable discretion. So essentially what that means is something that I feel like they've been doing this entire time. Pretty much they're giving themselves permission to take a look at your background check as frequently as they feel appropriate. The second thing, and this one actually concerns me a little bit when it comes to the authorization that we are giving them as Uber partners to track us. You have to pay attention to the subtleties in this. The old contract says your geolocation information will be monitored and tracked by the Uber services when you are logged into the driver app. Now the new contract, there's a slightly different phrasing here, which I believe is really important. The new one says your geolocation information may be obtained by the Uber services while the driver app is running. The difference between these two statements is one says Uber is tracking you while you're logged on. The second one specifically says Uber is tracking you while your app is running. That might not seem important to a lot of people. However, that Uber partner app runs quite a bit. The wording is different enough to warrant a little bit of concern. Now, there are many different things that have been changed. The one that concerns me the most. In the old contract, it says Uber reserves the right to deactivate or otherwise restrict you from accessing or using the driver app or the Uber services in the event of a violation of this agreement. Now, that's cool. You know, if you violate part of the agreement, Uber reserves the right to just say, hey, you know what? Our relationship is over. The new change to this document is what really concerns me. It says, the company reserves the right to deactivate or otherwise restrict you from accessing or using the driver app or Uber services in the event of a violation, and here's the important part, or alleged violation of this agreement. Now that's the part that is concerning. The reason it's concerning is because no longer are they saying, hey, we're going to deactivate you if we find out that you've been breaking the rules or you've been breaking the contract. We're going to deactivate you if you are accused of breaking the rules. This new little line that's been added to the contract is a step in the wrong direction. If you haven't read this agreement, I encourage you, go through and read the agreement. That's a super important part of any contract that you sign. Essentially what the contract does is it fully explains the relationship that we have as drivers with Uber as the company. It goes through a lot of things that you may not be aware of. Don't count on other people for your information, because I know some very prominent YouTube channels that are directly related to Uber that talk about Uber all the time have never read the agreement.